The ray modifier in Blender just got a massive upgrade. It's more flexible, gives you more control for building your scene. I just showcase and put it all together and how you can apply all these methods to your scene. So what you want to do to get into the ray first is go to generate. And so ray legacy is the previous one. So we go right here, you know, we could do some points right here, change the factor. Now the new one, if you go into ray, adds all these options: line, circle, curve, transform. So let's go into line. So right now, like the previous one, we had different counts, how many we want. You can move around like this. But the big changes is once we rotate it, it treats each object as its own. And if this is your first time on my channel, I do a lot of Blender Center tutorials and to help you understand the program. So I appreciate a like, and let's get on to the video. Basically, these three are just kind of measure on its own. So offset, you know, it'll look differently. You just play around with it. Offsets right here, relative, and an endpoint makes it closer. And then, you know, rotating is always great because each object will now rotate all by its own. Oh, let me go into texture scene as well, just to make it easier. And so right now we have these guys. We can rotate them individually. You can increase the scale individually of them. You can go right here, change the scale. I like going to relative. But if you go to randomize, you can have even more control. So you can even move the objects around like this, and you know, scaling changes the scaling, changes each one individually. So it's nice. And then flipping, you know, if you go at the middle point, it'll affect some of them, but if you go all the way, it'll all look the same way. Same for the other directions. And exclude first it won't affect the first one, but we check it off, it will affect the first one. Same for the last one. You can go with different patterns. And then merge kind of just tries to, you know, try to combine everything together. That's pretty much it for the line array, but let's go jump into the circle one, which will be pretty cool. Next, let's go to generate, go to array, and let's go from line to circle. And right now, you know, we don't see anything, but if we go to radius, which is a new option, now it'll look like it's going in different directions. Right now we'll have a radius of the circle. If we increase the count, now we have a big old circle of the scene. And so this is great if you just want to make an animation of mushrooms flying around or whatever it is you're doing. And an arc is a great way if you want to do half of a circle. You can change the angle, how spread out it is. You can increase the count and reduce the radius. And then if you want to change the way it's facing, X, Y, Z are always there. And distance is another way it measures the scene. But I usually just do count. Don't worry too much about that. But align rotation also affects the way they're facing exactly. So that's pretty cool, if I would say. And then if I would go all the way right here, if I would go the full, sorry, if you go the full, now it looks like they're all going in a big old circle, which is awesome. And then randomize, you know, same as usual, adds more flexibility. Z-axis, boom, boom. Do some flipping, maybe you want some to face the other direction. So if you want to do circular motion and have more control, this is definitely the one you want to do. But for the next one, so let's just duplicate this scene, take off the array, and we have a mushroom guy here. Go to generate array and go from line to curve. Right now there's nothing in there because it's waiting for a curve to be assigned. So we go to the eye drop, click on curve, and now the whole curve will affect how these guys will look. Put a couple of these guys right here and click on the curve, click on tab, and now we can move this around. And as soon as you have the curve here, we can just move in our own direction while, you know, at the same time, maybe changing the direction, doing a randomize, move them around the curve like that. If you want to add like a little animation, you can maybe move these guys around. If you're having trouble with modeling and texturing, I made a video on just the fundamentals of Blender, just to understand the basics of it. So definitely check it out. I'll put a link below. And next we want to do the transform. So right now that one was line. We go from line to transform. And so this one kind of depends more on like the randomize and the offset and rotation. It pretty much acts more like a particle. Like before the curve and the other ones, you could try to make particles of this. Now you can go like that, and adds more flexibility to add scenes all over. That's pretty much what I use this for. And then these guys will be flying around your scene. You can animate them, and then you can see this X part right here. The more it goes, it'll affect how many particles you have in the scene. So it's a great way just to spread stuff out instead of just having a circular or a linear movement. You can go ahead and just add them into an environment. Let me just show you this environment I made. For the mushroom, I used the line array. I moved these mushrooms up and down, and all I did was just rotate them. I used a couple of these rotation. That's pretty much it for these mushrooms. And then for the logs, I just got a log in the middle and I did a circle, and all I did was just spread them out like this. And I just added another log in the middle. And this grass right here, I just found this model online, so I just imported it. I got all this grass right here. I imported it. And then for these guys, I had separate mushroom models. So mostly what I did was use a circular modifier. So this one I did an arc. So now it adds more of the background scene, and I just add another arc. I increased the arc, so it spreads out bigger. For the particles here, I just use a transform node. So all I did was just spread these objects out right here. Maybe just move them out right there. And I just play with the offset. I was just moving around like that. And I did some scaling, just add some more natural vibe to it. Yeah, and also just let me know in the comments how I did in the scene, and also which arrays do you prefer to use, because there's a lot of cool uses for it. And I'll be even making more 5.0 videos for Blender, so definitely be on the lookout for those. But I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.